The episode opened with the usual buzz of anticipation. Stephen Colbert sliding into his seat, razor-sharp wit at the ready. Tonight's guest, Elon Musk. The subject, space. Musk's audacious spacefaring enterprise that had captured global imagination with its promises of Martian colonies and a future untethered from Earth. Colbert started with a light jab, teasing the feasibility of Musk's famously aggressive timelines. His tone was playful but laced with skepticism. Musk, cool and unbothered, lounged in the guest chair with his signature bravado, brushing off the comment as if it didn't warrant serious attention. The audience laughed, recognizing the rhythm of late-night sparring. But beneath the humor, attention quietly took root. Colbert leaned in, steering the conversation deeper. He pressed Musk not on dollars and rockets, but on the human cost. The grueling work conditions reported by former employees, the growing number of lawsuits like so many discarded boosters. Was it not reckless, Colbert asked, to chase the stars while stepping over the people on the ground? Musk's smile faded. His posture stiffened. Still composed, he dismissed the critique, insisting that great visions demand sacrifice. But the room shifted. The audience could feel it. The banter was fading, replaced by something sharper. What did Musk truly believe? Was he a genius chasing destiny, or a megalomaniac blinded by ambition? Could Colbert peel back the armor, or would Musk deflect until the end? The host didn't ease up. He pivoted to Musk's vision for colonizing Mars, painting a portrait of a barren wasteland. Was this humanity's salvation? Abandoning Earth instead of fixing it? Musk shot back, irritation creeping into his voice, calling earthbound complacency the real cowardice. The exchange turned pointed. The tension wasn't staged. It was real. Musk grew defensive, his answers clipped, his disdain for earthly concerns increasingly apparent. Colbert, sensing the unraveling thread, pushed harder. Then came the cut. Colbert accused SpaceX of prioritizing spectacle over substance, headlines over accountability. The shift in Musk's demeanor was unmistakable. His charm gave way to ice. He interrupted, his tone suddenly cutting. "You sound like someone too small-minded to understand the future," he said. The air snapped, gasps from the crowd, the veneer of civility stripped away. Colbert's expression flickered. Surprise, then resolve. He didn't retreat. Instead, he struck with precision, questioning whether Musk's obsession revealed not a visionary, but a man enthralled by power more than progress. "What kind of leader shrugs off criticism with such disdain?" he asked, his voice edged with something personal. Was Musk cracking? Or merely just getting started? The temperature on set rose. What began as a verbal chess match was now open combat. Colbert, undeterred, returned to the workers, the men and women who'd been cast aside while SpaceX reached for the stars. He painted a stark picture. Exhaustion, sacrifice, families left behind. Why didn't their lives carry the same weight as his Martian dream? The audience leaned in. Laughter had been replaced with a restless curiosity. This wasn't entertainment anymore. It was interrogation. Musk remained composed, or at least appeared to. Arms crossed, his expression unreadable. He fired back with a condescending lecture dismissing Colbert's concerns as pedestrian. The host, he implied, lacked the vision to comprehend what was truly at stake. Musk spoke of human survival, of grand designs too complex for small minds. The audience stirred. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. Then Musk pushed further. He mocked Colbert's career, calling him a clown who'd never risked anything of real consequence. The insult hit like a slap, raw, personal, and unfiltered. Colbert's jaw clenched, but he didn't flinch. Instead, he turned Musk's own words against him, his tone sharp and deliberate. "If a man so quick to belittle others is leading us to the stars," he asked, "then God help us when we get there." The stage was no longer a talk show. It was a battlefield, and the night was far from over. "Anywhere worth going," Musk declared, and the crowd erupted. Some cheered, others sat stunned, unsure if they were witnessing entertainment or a meltdown. The mood had turned. Musk's composure slipped, his voice rising with frustration. He accused Colbert of pandering, of playing the hero for cheap applause. But Colbert didn't flinch. Instead, he dug deeper into the recent failures at SpaceX, the explosions, the delays, the spiraling promises. "Was it really about progress?" Colbert asked. "Or was Musk's ego the true engine driving the mission?" The tension snapped taut. Every word was now a dagger, every reply a counterstrike. Then came the breaking point. Visibly agitated, Musk cut Colbert off mid-sentence. His patience had worn through. He unleashed a tirade, voice booming with fury and disdain, claiming Colbert was too insignificant to judge him, a nobody. Grasping at relevance, the audience fell dead silent. The outburst hit like a thunderclap, the weight of it settling heavy over the room. Colbert didn't respond right away. He sat still, letting the silence stretch, letting Musk's words echo and curdle in the air. When he finally spoke, his voice was calm, steely. "Is this the man you trust to save the species?" he asked, eyes not on Musk, but the crowd. And beyond that, the millions watching. It wasn't a question for the guest anymore. It was a challenge. The mood had changed irrevocably. The evening's facade of polite conflict had collapsed, and what remained was something raw and unfiltered. Musk straightened in his seat, masking fury behind a cold, daring smirk. Colbert met it with ice of his own, pivoting swiftly. He shifted the lens, broadening the scope of his critique. "Maybe this isn't about humanity at all," he said. "Maybe it's just about writing your own legend." A murmur rippled through the room. Musk didn't hesitate. He leaned forward, voice low and venom-laced. "You sit behind a desk and moralize," he snapped. "While people like me build the future, you've never taken a risk in your life." The jab was sharp, but he wasn't done. Musk reached back into Colbert's past, dragging out a half-forgotten incident from his early career, twisting it into a mocking, humiliating strike. He labeled the host a sellout, a fraud who'd been chasing applause since day one. Gasps, audible discomfort. The cruelty of it was unmistakable. For a heartbeat, Colbert's face changed, a flicker of pain crossing his expression before he buried it beneath steel. He rallied quickly, his voice steady and deliberate. "Your wealth doesn't give you the right to trample people," he said. He circled back to SpaceX again, to the employees, those dismissed and discarded. "Are they just pawns to you? As long as the rockets fly, are they expendable?" The crowd surged behind him. Applause swelled. But Musk wasn't finished. He exploded. His tone turned savage, accusing Colbert of jealousy, of being a petty man, obsessed with tearing down giants. Then he delivered the blow that sucked the air from the room. "Your whole career," Musk sneered, "is a fluke, a lucky break for a talentless hack who never mattered." The room froze. The insult landed like a punch to the gut. Some booed. Others sat in stunned silence. It wasn't a roast anymore. It was character assassination. Colbert didn't move. He sat back, absorbing the hit, his expression unreadable. For a moment it seemed Musk had won, that the host had finally been broken, outmatched by the guest he'd dared to confront. But then, Colbert shifted. His silence became a quiet strength. Colbert looked out over the crowd, then back at Musk, his voice calm, almost chilling. as he asked, "Is this the real face of the genius we've all been sold?" It wasn't loud, but it cut sharper than any shout, peeling Musk's outburst bare. The smirk faded from Musk's face, his mask slipped, and the room turned. He hadn't expected this shift. The power dynamic had changed, tilted against him. The confrontation had reached its rawest edge, the fallout just seconds away. The air buzzed with tension, Musk's venom still echoing, but Colbert's piercing question lingered louder. The audience felt it, the crack in Musk's armor. Murmurs grew, restless, electric. Colbert seized the moment. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't retaliate with rage. He leaned in. His tone was steady, but laced with a quiet, deliberate fire. He dismantled Musk's attack piece by piece, turning the insults into a mirror. A man who has to crush others to feel tall might not be the savior he claims to be. The crowd erupted, cheers crashing like a wave. Musk's eyes darkened. The narrative was slipping. He scrambled to reclaim control, voice rising, tone defensive. He framed SpaceX as a noble cause, too complex for Colbert to understand. Then came the sneer again, calling the host a parasite, living off the work of real innovators. But it didn't land. The venom was gone, the jab hollow. The crowd didn't buy it, booing now. And Colbert pounced. He brought receipts, the missed deadlines, the empty promises, the workers discarded. He painted Musk not as a visionary, but a tyrant in a hoodie, a man who demanded loyalty but gave none. Each point landed like a hammer. Musk's posture stiffened, his calm shattered. He snapped, interrupting, his words tumbling out in a rush of arrogance and outrage. He called Colbert a puppet, the crowd a jealous mob. But it was unraveling, and Colbert, he didn't flinch. He let Musk spiral, his own calm ablade. Then, surgical, unshakable, he delivered the killing blow. If this tantrum is what humanity can expect from its so-called trailblazer, God help us all, the crowd roared. Musk's face contorted, caught between rage and disbelief. He'd lost the room. Colbert didn't gloat. He simply straightened, voice firm, not cruel. "We're done here." Security stepped into the periphery. A silent signal. The show was over. Musk stood. His exit was a cocktail of defiance and defeat. He hurled a final barb over his shoulder, inaudible, drowned, out by the thunder of applause. Colbert watched him go, then turned to the crowd, composed, unshaken. A man who had weathered the storm and stood taller for it. The audience rose. A standing ovation not for spectacle but for strength, for clarity. Musk was gone. The stage belonged to Colbert. He didn't rush to fill the silence. He let the moment settle. Then he spoke, not to gloat, but to reflect. He didn't dwell on rockets or insults. He spoke of arrogance without empathy, of power without purpose, of the danger in mistaking ego for leadership. And the crowd leaned in. He turned the clash into something larger. A reminder that vision without heart is just noise. It wasn't a sermon. It was raw, honest, earned. The crowd erupted again. Applause thundered. But Colbert didn't bask. He thanked them. Not for taking his side, but for seeing through the bluster to what mattered. It was a master stroke. He turned a personal victory into a collective one. The room felt it. A cathartic release. Justice distilled through clarity. As the segment closed, Colbert sat back, relaxed but unbroken. The host who faced a titan and sent him packing. The audience rose once more, their ovations sealing the night. He met it with a quiet nod, a man who'd earned every second of it. The cameras lingered, but no words remained, no dangling tension. Musk was gone, his fury spent, and Colbert remained, the victor not by force, but by resilience. The show ended on that note, fierce, final, unforgettable. The stage was his, and the night was won.